right, we're ready to the electric.
Buffalo Brothers, besides, is just an unbelievably awesome amount of acoustic guitars. They also have a stunning amount of electric guitars.
Make sure you're talking towards the mic.
Yeah, this is their electric guitar room. And as you can see here, if you pan around, they have both new and used instruments, all kinds of high-end, used and vintage. Then you have some Gibsons, Paul Reed Smiths on the back wall. You have Fender Custom Shop guitars, Stratocasters, Telecasters, G&Ls, big line of G&Ls. They have
Talk
bass.
towards the camera.
They have bass guitars.
Too far away.
Okay. They have Jackson, just some of the name brands, Jackson Electrics. There's Taylor, which is now getting into solid body guitars, and the Taylor T5 series, which is a very popular acoustic electric. Well, it's an electric, but you can get a lot of acoustic tones out of it. A lot of different sounds out of that guitar. That's a very popular model now, the T5 by Taylor. And G&Ls, that's the company that Leo Fender started after he left Fender Guitars. We started that guitar with Mr. Fuller. So they have a lot of G&Ls.
Cool pictures on the wall.
Yeah, a lot of cool artwork. Again, all very inspiring. They also carry some amplifiers here at Buffalo Brothers, electric guitar and acoustic guitar amplifiers. Very high-end stuff, a lot of boutique, hand-wired amplifiers.
Ooh, this Flying V. Sustain.
The Sustain. That might be the Randy Rhoads model. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, it is. That's the Randy Rhoads Flying V model right there, Jackson. Look at those shark, they call that the shark tooth inlays on that. That's a $2,000 instrument. They also carry a line of effects, both vintage, old, and new. Pickups, little amplifiers, all kinds of fun stuff for the guitar player. Fun for the entire family.
All right.
That's the Metallica guitar. I don't know if you want to get a shot of that.
They go over there and talk
Kind
to
of
that.
cool, yeah. I think it's a Zamata. Here's something interesting. This is actually a guitar made by Zematis, that was actually owned by Kirk Hammett of Metallica. And you can see him on this issue of Guitar World magazine. He actually is holding this particular guitar that they bought, and they now keep it behind the glass case so no hacks like me can get in there and start messing with it. But this is a very huge high-end guitar maker made this guitar for Kirk Hammett, which I guess eventually got sold or auctioned off, and it ended up here at Buffalo Brothers. I don't know if you could see the detail in this, but this is just absolutely amazing on the top of this guitar, on the headstock and the truss rod cover. It's pretty crazy. Very cool. And here's something you don't see every day. And in fact, if you just look at this real quickly, you would just look at it and say, oh, that just looks like a Fender Stratocaster, which it is. But if you look close, it's a 7-string. A 7-string Fender Stratocaster, which you don't see every day. A lot of companies do make 7 strings like Ibanez and ESP, but this was actually, I guess, like a custom order or a custom piece made by a maestro at Fender, and 7-string electric Stratocaster. Pretty cool. More electric guitars here. Look at this as a Gibson, old Firebird, Gibson Explorer, Don Grosch guitars. Don Grosch, a very high-end guitar manufacturer. Look at that green, like sparkle finish on that guitar. Heritage, all kinds of Gibsons, used Gibsons, custom shop Gibsons. Here's an Ibanez semi-hollow body. What year is that? That looks 1982. So they carry used instruments as well as new instruments. all kinds of hollow bodies, semi-hollow bodies, acoustic electrics, all kinds of fun stuff, man. What a great store. Dan Electro models. Check out, these are they're retro line. They look very retro with the lipstick pickups. And look at some of the shapes on these guitars. Look at that finish, Tim. It's like a
Sweet.
black with silver sparkle. And the Dan Electro, they've been making guitars a long time, but they are very well known for their kind of vintage look to them. This has that's kind of cool, you know, a flat black or a satin black finish on these. Have the basses, Dan Electro, short scale bass, meaning the frets are a little closer together as opposed to like a longer scale or standard scale bass guitar. A lot of the Dan Electros have that masonite body, so it doesn't feel like wood, very light, and in some instances hollow. Has that masonite, gives you a little bit different sound. Very cool. Here's something, Tim. Here's something that you might be interested in. How old does this guitar look?
20, 30 years.
This is brand new.
Oh.
This is something they've been doing for a while, Fender. It's called relicking. They take brand new guitars and they beat them up. And there's actually like a science to how they get the paint, to how to make a guitar look like an old guitar. Like even the fretboard looks like it has so much wear on it. And look at the back. You know,
Nice.
This is like what a guitar would look like after 30 years of road hard work, and it's a relic series. So it's like already broken in and beat up. Like these are all new guitars, but look, they relic them to look like this. And these carry very high price tags, you know, $3, $4, $5, $6, $8, $10,000. Sometimes they even put cigarette burns in the headstocks.
Nice.
I know, I'm looking for one. I can't find one that has the cigarette burns, but you can see these are all reliced up. Look, they even rust the hardware. This is a brand new instrument that they get to rust like that. Look at that.
Nice.
See if we can find a Strata. These are Telecaster relics. Let's see if we can find a Stratocaster that's relic. Yeah, here you go. These are made at the Fender Custom Shop, and again, look at this. They put all these dings, and they get the finish to check. Can you pick that up on the camera? You can see that the finish checking is when the finish on the guitar expands and contracts at a rate different than the wood underneath it. And what happens is you get these cracks. Now the wood's not cracked, it's the finish there. And that's actually a very desirable thing, this checking. It looks like spider webs almost in the finish. And they can do it. There's a science to it. I guess they heat it with a gun or something and they get it. This is a brand new instrument. Fender Custom Shop, limited edition. Oh, NAMM 2007. They must have made this one for the NAMM show. Yeah. But these are Stratocasters that have been relics. Still haven't found a cigarette burn, but sometimes they burn the cigarette burns in the headstock, which is kind of cool. And then they have, there's a G&L like this is based off of this is a Fender's Jazzmaster. Vintage Jazzmaster guitar. A lot of surf guys use these guitars now. Look at the body compared to the Stratocaster. Very different style. That's the Jazzmaster, made by Fender. And they have it's a nice sunburst finish. Look at this one. That's like a, what do you think? Like a purple, maybe a pink, or what's that word?
Fuchsia.
Fuchsia sparkle Jazzmaster. Look at that. You even did it in the headstock. They painted the headstock that same kind of
Prince.
color. Yeah. You good?
Yeah.
They carry a great line of Paul Reed Smith guitars. I really like the Paul Reed Smiths. These are American made in the United States. They also make some at a lower price point in Asia. And just the craftsmanship and detail on these guitars are just amazing. And in many instances they put, you can upgrade and get like bird inlays. Look at this, it's actually a bird. Each one is different, like in flight.